Hello friends, I am Ms. Shinde Bharti Machindra, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Civil Engineering in Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon, an autonomous institute affiliated to Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Welcomes you in the lecture series for the subject Engineering Mechanics for FY BTech. Previously, we saw the 3 units. Now, in the today's video, we saw unit number 4, that is analysis of trusses and cables. The content of unit number 4 is definition of truss, types of trusses, analysis of truss using method of joints and method of section, and analysis of cables. So first, definition of truss. A truss is a structure comprising one or more triangular units constructed with straight members, where the ends are connected at its joints or nodes. Again, one more time we see that a truss is a structure comprising one or more triangular units. Whenever one or more triangular structures are constructed or comprised together, constructing with straight members where the ends are connected at the joints or the nodes is called as a truss. A truss is held in position by supports and loads are applied at the joints only. Whenever we are considering a truss and a load is applied to that, always the load or the supports are applied at the joints or at the node points of the trusses. The free body diagram of a member shows that it is acted upon by two equal and opposite forces. Whenever we detach the figure from the surrounding to plot the free body diagram for the trusses, then in that case, whenever every member is comprised of two equal and opposite forces, then the hinged and pin joint permits the members to rotate with respect to each other, and hence the members are subjected to purely axial forces, that is nothing but the tension or compression. So whenever we are considering a forces in the truss members, those are purely either a tensile forces or a compression forces. That is nothing but this is a figure where both are acting as a tension, and here both are this will be considered as a tension, this will be considered as a compression. So whenever the forces will be there, either it will be in tension or in compression. We are giving the sign conventions positive for the tensile forces and negative for the compressive forces. Next, type of trusses. So based on the functionality or application of the truss, it can be divided into two parts, bridge truss and roof truss. And further, based on the arrangement of the members in the truss or in the structure, it can be divided into these different types, that is Pratt bridge, Hovey bridge, Baltimore bridge, K bridge, Warren bridge, Bailey bridge. Then similarly roof truss, Pratt roof truss, Fink roof truss, Hovey roof truss, Warren roof truss and King post roof. This all classification of the truss is based on the arrangement of the members in the trusses. Now, analysis of truss. Whenever you want to analyze a truss members, the first thing we should know about the statical determinacy. Based on the value of this statical determinacy, we can say that whether the structure is statically determinate or indeterminate. This determinate or indeterminate will check the conditions of equilibrium are satisfied in that truss or not. So here for that a equation is used, that is m plus c, that is equals to 2j. If this m plus c is equals to 2j, then that truss is said to be statically determinate truss. M plus c is greater than 2j, then the truss is statically indeterminate truss. And if m plus c is less than 2j, then truss is said to be unstable, where this m plus c is nothing but the total number of unknowns. And in that m will denotes the total number of unknown member forces, and C will denotes the number of constraint reaction components. J will denotes the number of joints. Whenever the value of C is 0, there will be no any constraint reaction components, then here MC is considered as a 0, and this equation will becomes M is equals to 2J, and therefore statistical indeterminate C is determined as I equals to M plus C. This will be transferred to left hand side minus 2J, and whenever this C value is 0, then that equation becomes I equals to M minus 2J. Now based on this statistical determinacy, the truss is again get classified into these three types, that is perfect truss, deficient truss and redundant truss. It says that when M is equals to 2J minus 3, where again M is the total number of members and J is the total number of joints. So when M is equals to 2J minus 3, that truss is said to be perfect truss. If I am considering one figure, now in this figure there will be total 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 members. So M equals to 5 and joints are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if I am substituting over here 4, so 4 into 2 8, 8 minus 3 is 5. So M is also 5 and this 2J minus 3 is also 5. So 5 equals to 5. So this figure is the example of the perfect truss. Then next is the deficient truss. Here if I am considering the figure like this, now in the second figure total number of members are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So M is equals to 4. Joints will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 into 2 minus 3, that is 5, and members are only 4. M is 4. So 4 is less than 5, means the second figure is the example of deficient truss. Then if I am considering the third figure like this, a rectangle, and here one of the diagonal and this will be the second diagonal. So here there are total number of members are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So M is equals to 6. Total number of joints are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So again 4 into 2 minus 3 is 5 and this will be 6. So 6 is greater than 5. So the third figure is the example of the third type of truss, that is nothing but the redundant truss. So based on the value of this member and the joints, the trusses will be classified into these three different types, that is perfect truss, deficient truss and redundant truss. Now in case of analysis of truss, there will be certain assumptions. The first assumption is that the members of the truss are connected at the ends by frictionless hinges. So at the joint of the truss there will be frictionless hinges present, means the friction forces at the joints is equal to 0. This is the first assumption. Then second assumption, all the external forces action on the truss applied at the joints only. Whatever the external forces acting on the truss, all these forces will be act at the joints only. There will be no any force acting along the span. All the forces will be shown or act at the joints only. That is the second assumption. And the third assumption is that all the loads applied in the plane of the truss. So again all the loads are applied at the in the plane of the truss. Now for the method of analysis, there will be two types of method used for the analysis of trusses. That is nothing but first method of joints and the second is method of section. Now let's see the method of joints. The procedure for analysis of truss using method of joint is: first step, obtain the support reactions first, considering the conditions of equilibrium applied to truss as a whole. Now first of all, in the step number 1, we have to draw the free body diagram of the whole truss given and apply the conditions of equilibrium. That is nothing but the summation of horizontal forces Fx is 0 or H is 0, summation of vertical forces is 0 and summation of movement is also 0. In the first step we have to release the support, and by showing the unknown reactions at the support and the external forces acting on the truss, we have to draw the free body diagram. And for the that free body diagram we have to apply the conditions of equilibrium, summation of fx0, summation of fy0 and summation of moment 0. Then in step number 2, take the free body diagram of a joint. Now after whole truss we have to take the free body diagram of a separate joints, and preferably we have to consider a joint which has not more than 2 unknowns. Now whenever we are considering a truss, there will be number of joints present, right? So whenever we start drawing the free body diagram for the joint one by one, we have to start drawing the free body diagram in a way that preferably the first we are considering the joints which is having not more than 2 unknowns, and applying the conditions of equilibrium for a concurrent force system as summation of horizontal is 0, summation of vertical is 0, and the unknowns are determined. So whenever we are considering the free body diagram of a joint, then at that joint it is a type of concurrent type of force system, and we know that in case of concurrent force system there are two conditions of equilibrium are applied, summation of horizontal 0 and summation of vertical 0. So two unknown, two equations, that will gives you the answers for that given two unknowns. So the analysis is continued with equilibrium of next joint until the forces in all the members are evaluated. So first we are determining the unknown forces for the first joint, then we have to go for the second joint, then we have to go for the third joint. In this way the process is continued till we are determining the forces in all the members, and then after determination of forces in all the members we have to tabulate the result or summarize the result in a tabular form, that is member, the magnitude of the force in that one, and then the nature of force, whether it is a tension or in the compression. If the force initially when we are drawing the free body diagram we are assuming all the forces are in the tension, that is positive, but when we are solving the problem and if you get the negative sign convention, it means that your assumption is wrong, the force is in compression. So with respect to that, in the tabular format you have to write down the nature of force, whether it is in tension or it is in compression. So now before starting the actual problem, there is one important thing, that is nothing but the zero force member. Now in truss there are many members, so out of that members some of the members will carry the zero force. So how to identify that zero force member? If we are identifying this zero force member earlier, then it will simplify the calculation part. For analysis of this or identification of this zero force member, there are some of the important points. That is, first, when two of the three members meeting at a joint are collinear and no external load is acting at that joint, then the force in the third member is 0. It means that if I am considering a joint A, and at joint A there are three forces, the first, second and the third. Now out of these three, if these two forces or two members are collinear with each other and there will be no any external force, so if this is considering upward positive F, this is considering downward minus F, F will get cancelled, no any external force is acting, it means that the force in this third member is equals to 0. That is, at the joint two members are collinear and no external load is acting at that joint, then the force in this third member is equals to 0. Like this also, here also these two are collinear, so this third member is 0. Then the second case is when two members meet at a joint where no load is acting, then the forces in those members are also 0. If two members are acting over here and if no any external force is acting, then the forces in these two members is also 0. In this way or in this way, if no external force is there, then the force in these two members is equals to 0. Then the third condition, when two members meet at a joint, there is a support such that the support reaction is collinear with any one member. This is as similar as to the first case. Only thing is that this one of the force of collinear is from the support reaction. Then the force in the third member is 0. So here considering at A roller support is there, so this is a reaction VA, this is a force in this member, so both will be opposite in direction and collinear with each other, get cancelled, and the third member force is equals to 0. So in this way, if any one of the case is exist in the given truss, then directly we can mark the force in that member as a 0, which will simplify the calculation part further. So keeping in mind this procedure and some of the important things, in the next video we solved some of the problems for analysis of truss using the method of joints.